We've got a new video for you today. It's a returning guest, Amanda Strawn, who is the daughter of Scientology celebrity Amanda Ambrose. And she's back to tell us how she's doing now and what her beliefs are after Scientology. Stick around. We think you're going to find it interesting. You're also going to hear a big surprise at the very end. We hope you enjoy it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our channel, Scientology Peeling the Onion. My name is Mark Fisher, and I'm here with Janice Gillen-Grady. Good day, Janice. How's it going today?
Good. Good day, Mark, and good day, everybody, and welcome to Scientology Peeling the Onion. Hey, Mark, there's two things I want to bring up before we get into this. One, to all those who have purchased my Outback Naturals liquid vitamins from Amazon, I'd like you to please do a review if you liked it and comment how great it is. If you didn't like it, then don't do a review.
Yeah, well, we've gotten some good response, though, from it, too. We've had some orders from some people and all.
Well, we have,
right?
But I've only gotten 2 reviews on Amazon. One's a 5-star and one's a 1-star. And I'm like, a 1-star? Yeah, anyway. I need more reviews. So please, if you like my liquid vitamin, there it is. Yeah. Please go on Amazon and give it a review as a verified purchaser and tell them how great it is. So that's one point. So the second point is Tom DeVock. He has a Substack. He's an old friend of ours from when we were in the Sea Org. And he left many years after us, and we're still in touch with him and good friends with him. And we saw him at Mike Rinder's Celebration of Life. Anyway, he's got a Substack, and he's very similar to us, wanting to campaign against the disconnection policy and get families reconnected. And I just want to bring up to our audience, if you haven't read Tom's Substack, please do so and give him some support. And if you've got a problem with being disconnected from your family members, then, you know, Tom's pushing it, we're pushing it. And there's ways to reconnect and ignore David Miscavige, try to get people all disconnected from each other so they don't talk and find out how he should not be in the position he's in. So anyway, I want to give some support to Tom and also, again, push the whole point on disconnection. It is not Scientology to disconnect. Only if you're connected to a real, live, suppressive person who is hurting you and holding you down in your own life. But otherwise, if it's your daughter or your kids, you know, please get connected. That's what I have to say.
Great. And I'll put a link in the description down below for Tom's Substack. So you can, he's got different, you know, ways that you can help out, and it's included in his Substack. So I'll put a link down below. One last thing I want to mention real quick is Janice goes out of town. I go to town. There's different things that we do, but there's a lot of live videos that we did over 2 years ago. And I'm actually repackaging them with a new introduction and putting them out as new videos. And we're calling them Peeling Classics. Okay. And it's just, there's stories that maybe people, you know, now we have a lot of new subscribers and a lot of new viewers, and they may not have seen these ones that we did over 2.5 years ago, like the story of David Miscavige and his relationship with Shelley Miscavige, like the history of Gilman Hot Springs, like another guy, Jim Mortland, that we did a live stream on, and he was one of the people in charge of the Creston location where Hubbard died. So, you know, we're repackaging those, and every once in a while we're going to put them out as Peeling Classics, and we will note them. I will note that in the description so that people know that if you've already seen them, you can skip over it. But, you know, the 2 that I put out already, they're getting lots of views. So there's a lot of people, like I said, who have never seen our stuff before, and they're really enjoying them. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that so that you understand what we're doing. We're still doing new videos like this one today, and we've got several others set up as well. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. Okay, Janice, let's introduce our guest.
All right.
She's patiently been waiting for.
So our next guest is someone we've had on before. We had a lot of good comments about her story. There's ups and downs in her story. And I've been in touch with her. We knew each other as kids, and we both have a similarity of our mothers putting Scientology as a priority above us. And so we're going to have her back on and, talk more about what that was like, and also other stories and how she's done, guiding her own life. So let's bring on Amanda Strawn.
Hi, Amanda.
Hey.
Perfect.
Hey, Janice.
Hi, girl.
How are you both?
Oh,
I'm good, and it's
you?
good to see you.
Nice to
Good
be
to
seen.
see you. Yeah.
I'm just like kind of like, what? You got me back? What's up with that?
Well, your last video, the last interview we did with you a few months ago, it got a lot of views and a lot of positive response. Of course, you told a lot about your heartbreaking story in Scientology and out. But we wanted to bring you back on to, just give everybody an update.
Yeah, I'd like to bring up, just so that people who haven't met Amanda earlier, Amanda's mother was Amanda Ambrose, who was a celebrity at Celebrity Center, one of the very first ones there. And she was very close friends with my mother. Yes, Amanda.
And she was also an ambassador for the Church of Scientology. She performed all over the world for the Church of Scientology. She was an ambassador, probably
right.
the first Black ever ambassador.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. And she did a good job. And she did it as her priority over you and your siblings.
Well, that was her priority I think that was her destiny, with or without having children. We do what we do. Scientology was just the one thing that validated her. And it was because of Scientology that she got blacklisted as an artist and then became an ambassador and Scientology sweetheart. But she never made a dime. She traveled all over the world singing. And the reason she got blacklisted was because in between her songs, she would disseminate Scientology as a good Scientologist would. And like that fucked shit up for her.
Right.
And it's like Tom was saying, it's not just Scientology. Most quote unquote cults, they separate you from your family and your friends and everything in order to quote unquote brainwash you with their information. It's not just Scientology. Like, I was watching this documentary on these TikTok dancers that got into this cult. And like all cults, they have you disconnect from everyone that loves you or cares about you. And then they're the only ones that are there for you. Scientology is a fucking cult.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Amanda, let me give you an example. After I got out of Scientology, I had friends who signed me up for Amway, which is a soap business, a multi-level marketing thing. And then I didn't want to do it, but I did it because they were friends of mine. And then they dragged me to Salt Lake City for a national convention. And when I went in there, everybody was dressed the same. They wanted you to buy books and tapes. They wanted you to, to validate your leader or your upline, as they say. And I sat there and I went, this is a cult. They're just selling soap.
It all is. Mark, imagine being a Black American kid dragged through that shit.
Yeah.
Imagine. And now I've spent 36 years here in Quebec where everyone is like, bonjour, what the fuck? No, imagine, like, cults are everywhere. They're everywhere. And then as a female, you got to deal with freaking male predators too.
Yeah.
No, you're
Now
right.
I was gonna ask you, Amanda, when you were in Scientology, were there any male predators? You had
No,
no problem? That was before and that
no,
was after,
no. It was before and it was after. And
right?
I never thought about it. I just was just living, being this kid, going through this experience that my mother put me through. It was just that, only to realize that no, I wasn't molested. No, I did not have to deal with any, like, offending racism on any level. What I knew was it took my education away. It took my
Right,
mother away. It took everything away. It took everything away. And even
right,
if I committed myself to my mother and my loving, they took her away. And that's what it was. It was. That's what
right.
it was. It just
Yeah.
took,
Yeah,
but like I said, Scientology was just a blip in my life because she was gone always. She was always gone. I was never a priority. And that's why, like, I had my son at 41 after 12 years of marriage because I wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing. I made sure in my divorce he stayed in the same neighborhood until he was freaking 18, which every year of my childhood I moved to a different state, a different school, you know.
right.
But maybe somehow that's kind of dysfunctional too. Like, you never know. Yes. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Well, like you, I wanted stability for my children. I stayed in the same house after I left Scientology for like 24 years so that my kids had stability and didn't move around like I did.
That's amazing. I was able to keep my son in the same, not the same house, but the same neighborhood for 18 years, even though I
Right.
was out of the picture after 7 years, because I wanted him to have the same, grow up with the same friends and the same
Yeah.
thing. But because
Yeah.
of his choices and becoming like a drug addict, like, I'm dealing with that too now. I'm fucking dealing with, like, despite he had his college paid for and was like played, like, despite all the shit he had that I didn't, you never know what's around the fucking corner. Well, he's
Yeah.
been 3.5 months clean.
Good.
And shit, life goes on, like,
Yeah.
I had a 30-year cocaine addiction, so I understand. I lost everything, and life is like, there's so many freaking drugs out there and our society is so dysfunctional. It's like either you drink or you do drugs or you're fucking dysfunctional. Like, come on, man. It's
Right.
just too crazy. It's too crazy
But,
because
No, that's
but you
one
know,
of the things. That's one of the things that I liked about Scientology when I was in, because they were completely anti-drug. I mean, you were not allowed to take drugs, and if you did, you were sent to ethics. And it just I never had the desire, because I knew, I learned from an early age that that was not right, not the right thing to do. After leaving Scientology, I've never gotten involved with it at all.
that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
How old were you when you got into Scientology,
14.
Mark?
14.
Dad, was it you or was it your family?
My dad got in, and about 2 years before that, and then he thought it would help me, and it did. I mean, I swear by a lot of the gains that I got in my early Scientology auditing and training and that type of thing to this very day. They changed me as a teenager and as a person. But then, of course, as things got crazy and out of control, that's why we moved away from it and got out of there.
Okay, well, that's amazing because I think there is information in Scientology that elevates us. For me, it was that we are beings in bodies, and the beings live lifetimes through the bodies, and that's what I know. That's what
Yeah.
I
right.
know. My lifetime as who I am now in this body I am now is not the same as maybe being an Irish person, male in another body, or even a tree. I don't know the progression of how we grow from all I know is God is all living things, which is everything that takes sunlight, air, and water to survive. That's all I fucking know. That's
Yeah.
all. You
Now
know,
you mentioned, I want to ask you. You mentioned about racism and that type of thing. Do you remember experiencing any of that when you were in Scientology? Because I'm sure it existed. You know what I mean? But me as a white person, I always just looked at people from other races as just being another being in a different body than mine, and they were just as smart and strong and likable as I was.
okay, let me ask you a question. Growing up,
Yeah.
would you rather be white or black?
Oh, much rather be white. Absolutely, I'm not denying that.
That's the answer. That's
Yeah.
the answer. If you would not want to grow up in the skin of a black person, knowing what it's like to grow up, or having some sort of concept of knowing that they're just another human being, just like you, living in a body, but still you would not want to fucking have to deal with their struggle.
No, exactly.
Right.
I mean, that's the reason. I mean, I look at a black person or a Chinese person or whatever as a person, but everybody's environment and their experience is different. And it doesn't matter. Their culture is different. Everything's different about it.
No,
So I have no right to judge
because
them or to look down on them or to look up to them, because they're just
Mark,
people.
Mark,
Yeah.
we're all just people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
you all had the
my
same feelings.
experience as a black American is not the same as your experience of what you think a black American is.
So I totally
My
agree with you.
experience of a black American, because I have dreads, people assume I'm Jamaican. And that's not my fucking experience. I've been there on vacation twice and it was amazing. I'm not African, I'm not Jamaican, I'm not Haitian, but because of how I look or someone's preconceived idea of how I look is everything they think I am, that shit gets fucking stale real fucking quick.
Oh, I'll bet. Yeah.
So you just comment on Jamaican. Are you saying Jamaicans are treated different to an African American, or they're treated the
Of
same?
course, here in Quebec, you have the Jamaicans, you have the Haitians. There was a time, like I've been here since '86. You couldn't have a black club. It's not like a Black American club. It's not like an R&B club from like the 80s. It's either a Jamaican or Haitian club, and those two are against each other, and blah blah blah, and there's fucking fights. Like, even still. But I'm saying, like, even myself here in Quebec, they're like, sister, what part of the islands are you from? I'm like, I'm not from an island. Your roots. What are your roots, girl? I'm from Los Angeles. Your parents. Where are your parents from? Not from a fucking island, bro. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
And I was raised also through Scientology, and because of Scientology, that I'm a being and a body navigating this lifetime. But
Right.
navigating this lifetime, what I learned is every time I leave my fucking house or apartment, I am a color, I am a gender, and then I am whatever the fuck people think that means to them.
Right. Now,
right.
did you
I agree.
experience that? Did you experience that when you were in Scientology?
I was too young to understand that back
Okay.
then. I was just doing what I was like. I was already so used to being in new situations. I was just doing what my mother told me I had to do in order to be with her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Harm came to me. I wasn't mistreated. I met Leonard Cohen, and he taught me how to play Suzanne while he was waiting for a session in New York, and I had just come back from passing out 500 fucking free lecture fucking tickets. I can't say it was a great experience. It was just
Right.
another. It was just another. No, I wasn't mistreated. L. Ron Hubbard, I'm like, Mom, what the fuck? That's it. What the fuck? But I understand her in that time where Black artists were just no longer, or maybe having to go through the servants' entrance to perform for the white people. Like, this shit is deeper than Scientology for me. Scientology was just a fucking blip. It was a blip.
Yeah.
Now, before Scientology, what religion was your mother in, or religions?
Okay, I was born Buddhist. From 6 weeks old to 3 years old, I lived with my grandparents who were Episcopalian Baptists, where they went like flying in the aisles, like that Black Baptist thing where the music is jumping and so are the people.
Yeah.
And then I came back and my mom was Unitarian. And then after that, then came Scientology. Like, while I went from Cincinnati to Toronto, my mom was in New York and got into Scientology. And when we moved from Toronto to New York, the next thing we know, we're stuffing envelopes for the New York board.
Yeah, I did that. I did a lot of stuff in envelopes.
We stuffed envelopes and we passed out flyers on 42nd and Broadway. But my brothers came up with a hack where they just take a handful and stick them in the grate. So when the train came, they let them fly through the subway. That was back in the days when pizza was like 25 cents a slice. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Good old days, huh?
Crazy.
So, and then your mother stayed in Scientology the rest of her life, didn't she?
From she brought us in late 67, and she stayed. I think she died like in like 2007, late to early 2008.
Right. And did any of your siblings get into Scientology and stay in Scientology? Yes.
What we know about Tony, who died in prison as a pedophile,
Right.
who refused to even talk about Scientology at all. My sister Naomi, who took over my mom's business, Voicer Size, died maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago now, maybe longer. And she was a Scientologist. Her daughter, Crystal, grew up, was raised in Scientology, but she kind of found her own path. My brother Terry, I haven't spoken to in God knows how long, and that's it.
Did Terry become and stay a Scientologist or no?
No, he didn't. No, he got out like before I even got on the ship, like from the Boulevard days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And did those other family members that were you disconnected from officially by them, or did you just not have a relationship with them?
I didn't. I stopped having a relationship with them. I officially got disconnected. Officially, I was like the bad guy when I moved to Montreal and got married. I think it was maybe, let me see, 5 or 6 years. I was having trouble in my marriage, and my mother sent missionaries and got Michelle, my ex-husband, to sign up for a bunch of fucking shit and go to Florida to get some auditing. And we had been separated then, and he never told me about it. He went to Florida and they asked for more money. He's like, what the fuck is this? He threatened to sue them. I became like, I got blacklisted or whatever the Scientology term is, because he threatened to sue the church when I knew nothing about it and had nothing to do with it. And it is what it is. It is what it is. My mother fucking abandoned me after I left her freaking twat. I can't. My brother's conversations would be, if I had live siblings willing to talk about it, their stories would be the same. You put 4 people in the room and something happens, they all have a different story.
Right. Yeah, that's very true.
And that's that. That's that. But the bottom line, Scientology did not abuse me in any way, shape, or form, other than child fucking labor. Other than child labor.
Other than child labor. Yeah. Not laughing about it, but that's true.
I'm with you. We were in the same boat.
Serious child labor. Yeah.
Yes, very serious.
Now you mentioned Scientology is a blip in your life. So did you go on to other things after Scientology? And what is your viewpoint now as far as, who you are and where we're going and all that sort of thing?
At this point in my life, I'm thinking and I'm feeling like I need some sort of spiritual connection other than my spiritual connection, that knowing God is all living things, and I just have to get out and participate in it more. I am seriously in need of therapy. Last year, I found a good one after going through 12 here in Quebec. Guys, imagine I'm in a French speaking province. I'm a Black person. Not just your average. I've traveled the world. I've been through Scientology. I've lived all come on. I'm not what anybody imagines, and everybody assumes what they want to assume because of the color of my skin, whether I have dreads or not. It's frustrating. I finally found a therapist, and now I can't afford it because I'm supporting my son in getting well.
Right.
So, and between my son and talking about not just Scientology, which triggers my whole relationship with my mother and America and being black in America and being a woman and being a Black woman in America. I'm really happy. I'm really happy to have my little cubby hole here in Quebec.
Right.
Can I ask you a
Now
question about Canadian medicine? Doesn't Canada have universal health care for Canadians?
Yes. Yes.
So do they not cover all the stuff that the different treatment and counseling? Is Canada not pay for that?
No, they're not just going to give you money for who you pick. You got to pick who they choose, and that's why it's taken me so long to find someone.
Got it.
Someone that understands me, that's compassionate towards, I've had a few occasions where I've been assigned through our medical where they ask me, what part of Jamaica am I from? Before I even fucking open my mouth. That tells me, nope. That's a big nope. I had a long time issue of wanting a male, I needed a Black one, but I don't want someone from Africa. I don't want a Jamaican one because my experience is bigger than theirs.
Yeah.
Right.
It's bigger than what they fucking learned in school. But finally, I found a really cool dude, Black dude, father, 36, blah, blah, blah. And things were going good until I couldn't afford it anymore.
Right.
And now it's I realize the best thing I can do is just sing it out.
I was just going to say, I understand what you're saying because I know people who have left Scientology that have wanted to get counseling, you know what I mean, or whatever. And it's hard to find a counselor that would understand the cult that you were in, or you don't want to spend all your time explaining to them about Scientology. You know what I mean?
Your mommy issues, your family issues, your life issues. Okay, here's your surprise. This is a song I wrote for my son, Ben. I was leaving him for 3 months to go on that European tour. And it took me a while to write, but it goes like this.
Okay.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss you every time you go away, darling. Please come home. Your eyes, they sparkle and they light my way, darling. Won't you please come home? Your smile, it brightens my darkest day, darling. Won't you please come home? 'Cause I miss you. darling, won't you please come home? Come and see your mama. I'm missing my boy. Oh, I need them cuddles. They bring me such joy. Home is not a dwelling. It's right here in my arms. And though your farts are swelling, it's part of your charm. I love you more and more each day, darling. Won't you please come home? I know that soon you'll be full and on your way, darling. Remember to come and see your mama. I'm missing my boy. Oh, I need them cuddles. They bring me such joy. Home is not a dwelling. It's right here in my arms. Oh, I miss you, boy. Your mama misses your charm. Darling, won't you please come home? 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 'Cause your mama misses you, boy. Come home. Yeah, I do. You know I do. Your mama do. Come home. Please come home.
You know what, Amanda? It is great to see you play, because when we talked before, you hadn't been playing. So I'm very happy to see that you're now playing again.
That's what
That's
I do.
great.
That's what
Yeah,
I do.
that's great.
No,
Hey,
you're
did you
you're
go?
tremendous.
Yeah, did you ever go back to any of those drum circles or the guitar circles?
You know, no, I haven't, Janice, because, okay, there was a time, like, I did it for 13 years. I called it church, you know? And in the beginning, I had a big djembe, and I carried my djembe on the bus. And then I got a smaller djembe. Now that I'm going to be 68 any day now, I need my fucking old lady buggy. In my buggy, I have to pack a chair. I have to pack a snack. And where I live, there, to get to them down to the train, I have to carry it downstairs. And then when I get to the destination, I have to carry it upstairs. And it's like, it's, the thrill is gone. The fucking thrill.
Okay. You know, you can always leave that all behind and just take the body and just go and admire everybody else having a good time.
Oh my God, no. I can't go there unless I'm going to bang my drum for like 5 to 7 hours. I can't do that. It was good. It was good. I found my church. Like you asked the question, did I find my spiritual? Yeah, it's banging my drum. So having you guys just mention that, maybe will put that seed in for me to go back, despite the struggle of a senior citizen in her old lady cart.
I'm just happy to see you picked up the guitar again and you played a song for us.
Absolutely.
I think that's wonderful.
That's all I need to do at this point. Is to,
she can entertain us anytime over
like
whatever
over
it is.
StreamYard.
Let's have like let's have some like acoustic shows and other Scientologists that manage to keep their musical passion alive or whatever. You know, it's not just about, I think we can make this about how we survived and what we're doing with our life as a result of it. Yeah. You know, I don't know. Some people's lives were nowhere near what I've survived. So one episode, one blip could damage forever. But, you know, like we all know this is just a lifetime. We are beings and bodies, and there's more shit to live, and we're here to learn what there is to learn in the bodies we're in.
Right.
That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. And it's because of Scientology I see it that way. Disconnecting from your family, devoting yourself to Scientology, that to me is cult shit.
Yeah.
That's
right.
cult shit. That's cult shit. Straight up.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
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 All right,
And
then.
it's really unfortunate that so many precious people got sucked up, you know. At least we didn't get fucking kidnapped. I never abused, I never dealt with it. And like in retrospect, I'm like, cool. In retrospect,
Right.
when I look at Scientology, it was just my mom's crazy shit. It was just my mom's crazy shit. And I learned that I'm a being and this is just another lifetime. That's what I walk away with.
Right. Good.
That I personally walk away with. Yeah. And made some like, it's so cool, you know, to have this community of ex-Scientologists. And maybe I should spend more time looking at the videos, etc. But I'm so used to being a loner and just like moving on and staying in my shell.
And
This
you don't,
this helps.
yeah, you don't need to. Hey, I'm happy just to see that you're playing. I think that's wonderful.
I still need to, I mean, as an artist, I know I sing the saddest part of my soul, and everybody has that in them. But, you know, it would be great if I could sing some happy songs. I got a few, but I know how I affect people. And it kind of keeps me humble. Yeah.
Well, good.
Good. Anything else you wanted to say, or before we end off this video? It's been wonderful.
I'll be hit me up anytime. We can talk about childhood fucking candy or games or like, you know, like is Scientology the biggest issue of your existence of like who you are today, or is it just something you learned? Like we all learn something in our growing up, you know, that, you know, there's like the Mormons and there's all these other religions that people have escaped and get on with their lives. Like, I think it was not as crushing as a child as it would be for a young adult who spent years believing in it only to find out that it wasn't working for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like spending from your early 20s to your 40s, fucking making $10 a week while giving all your time and energy. Like, what the fuck?
$10 a week.
That's what we made on the ship. $10 a week.
That's what we made on the ship.
Yeah.
$10 a week.
Yep.
And they did not supply tampons.
Well, you weren't old enough.
No, I wasn't, but I knew that.
Right.
I knew you had tampons. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? I've been what the fucking for as long as I can remember. But now, with like my blackness and that, it's no longer what the fuck. It's now just the fuck. Yeah, but crazy. Like,
yeah.
Like I said, my most profound moments that bring me back to the ship days is when I look at the sky on certain days and it's blue and there's clouds, and it takes me back to going from Casablanca to Sofia or whatever, Rabat or Tangiers or
yeah, there's nothing like that feel of the rolling of the ship and looking up at the sky and the blue sky and the clouds or at the ocean.
I remember one time where it was rocky at sea, Janice, and the snipes, they came on deck and they came with hoses, and the ship was really fucking dipping. It was really dipping, and they wet the top deck, and we were just like sliding from one side to the other, just like riding the fucking wave on the ship. It was fun. It was fun. Just fun. Yeah, that was the only time I remember of uncontrolled playing on the ship.
Right.
Or even playing on the ship at all. Yeah. That was great.
All right, then. Yeah. Amanda, it's been great. Anything else you want to say?
Yes, I want to say love, hugs, kissings, and blessings to everyone that takes the time to check out this podcast, to be fans and followers of Janice and Mark. Kisses from Montreal. Blessings to everyone.
Well, thank you very much. Love you, girl.
Please subscribe to the channel. Those viewers out there, definitely you'll see more stories like this, and we appreciate the support. If you have any questions or comments, please go down below. And if they have questions for Amanda, we'll forward them to her. And then if you'd like to support our channel, you can buy us a coffee. There's a link in the description. And Janice, have you got anything else you want to say and before we end off here?
Hey, send me the link to this, please.
Yes, we will. Okay, great. Will do.
Blessings.
Talk to you later. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye.